Так, okay, so today I want to talk about ratios in perspective. So, what is it and how it works? So, let's say, so perspective, it's like establishment of a 3D space, as I told before. Hello, Dorian. So, 3D space, it's 3 axes, like we have y-axis. Okay, it's like user it. So it's 3D, right? 3 dimensions. So 3 axes. This 3 axes, it's x, y, z. So in this 3 axes, 3 dimensions, on a flat surface, on a paper or a screen, we show with this perspective grids. And like kind of in essence, it looks like this. Like we have y-axis for vertical dimension, for kind of like height, z for depth, and x for width, right? So then we have like, we can make like object here. So this object will have like this box structure, box logic, which means it will have 4 y-axis, like 4 edges, which is aligned with y-axis. Then it will have like 4 edges, which is aligned with z-axis, and the 4 edges, which align with x-axis. Okay, so all this is like same core principles. And then here it's fundamental part of it. It's how we measure, how we kind of like estimate this proper proportions or placement. So it can be like distance between objects, or it can be like range of object sides, like object depth, object width, or object height, object height. So let's say, for example, here y, z, x, y, z, x. So I can make like object with a longer width and a shorter height, or let's say like longer depth, so it's more longer z-axis, right? So, and question here, how do you can calculate, how can you measure this like exact proportions and stuff, just to have like clear idea of proportions in your work? So let's see, let's write it. Measure. So, and this is kind of like so essential, like it's in every basic book. Like it's about transferring points in perspective. So like let's say we have again establish grid. because we have established direction of 3-axis. So, and here I have this like initial point, kind of like on a 0 mark. And then I want to move this point deeper, right? So I will kind of move it along this z-axis and I stop it here. Okay, so same I can do it, like I can move it like towards width, like right or left, kind of, right? So here I like move it towards right, like this, and same with the height. So you have initial kind of point of start, and you have a vector, you have trajectory. So this main thing is like it's a trajectory, or it's always aligned with one of axes. It can be like only y, z, or x. It should be aligned with one of dimension. So second moment is like, let's say, so let's say I have this kind of it's established isometry perspective grid here, and this is my picture plane. So it means every this line, they're just behave same in a whole picture, right? So just y is parallel to y, z always will have this z direction, x will be always have this x direction. So, and let's say I just drop random point here. So right now, like I can measure distance in a 2D space. So like I can say, oh, where is this point? How far it from top side of a picture, and how far it from right side of a picture or from left side of a picture, right? But because I establish here 3D space, I need to have this idea, I need to have this kind of understanding, but within 3D space, how it works in a 3D space. It works as like you need to find this, like align it with the 3 axes, so they should be connected. So let's say here I can take this like from my initial kind of z line, right? So then I have okay, let's do like this. So in here, kind of also important thing, like right now I don't have any space, right? So right now I'm actually kind of establishing placement for this point, because it can be on the ground or it can be in the air. So let's say it's like little on the air and little on the right from the initial point. So let's do like this. So it's here. Like this. So what we have here, you see, it's like from z we have this distance. Let's don't know what should. Like this, we have this distance from the axis, from initial point. Then we have this height, this height here, and we have this length. So let's say if I have this like 0.2 So I can kind of see how it's being moved from this 0 kind of nature position. It's like how far it's in the depth, how high it's in the vertical height, and how far it moved to right or left side. So you see it's kind of like moving along 3D axis. So first we can track, it's like go there, then move up, and then it's like move right. So all the way it's a 1 over axis. So here is move in the z, then move y, and then move x. And kind of sequence here is not important. You can go start from x, just kind of a principle you see is there. Essentially they're kind of like following each other. They're kind of like can be track and connected to each other. So to know place of a element or object in 3D space in your drawing, you need to be able track this element, this object, with all 3 axes. So you can say is like how far it's from this axis, how far from this axis, and you can drop like a vector. You can always drop a vector. You can say, okay, let's go this, or let's go this, or let's go this. So then we can see this element is inside this space, inside, how to say, this kind of connected to this structure, right? So, and then all this, you see, like distances I'm showing right now, they are all random. We can see kind of just eyeballing kind of, there's difference of length. So it's like we can say this distance from here to here, it's A. This distance, like vertical height here, is B. And the width here, it's like a Z size. And how much exactly this A, B, or C, how much exactly, like we don't have any number. And what is more important, actually, it's not about number, it's about we don't know how to compare them. Like we only, like I can say, yeah, maybe it's B smaller than A, and also like smaller than C, some kind of like very uncertain, very vague. And how we can make it like very clear and precise, like so I will know exactly like what is A, what is B, what is C, what is their length, right? So it's how to do this. For this we need ratio, right? So ratio. Dun, 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 dun. So, and what is ratio? It's like basically you just establish model. You establish a measure which you will use to define everything inside your picture. So it's totally like voluntary, but you establish it as a solid rule. So let's say you can say like this is my measure here. It's like one gene, for example. So, and then I can rotate it. I can make it like this horizontal, right? But if I will put it in perspective, so this one gene with a vanishing point, so I will have one gene going in a perspective. It will became smaller, 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 right? So now if I drop it, also rotate vertically in a distance somewhere, it also will change its proportion. So if let's say this one, if I draw it down, it will be smaller like this. shorter than here. So, and now with established, let's say, inside my world of my picture. So maybe this is kind of one panoramic picture. So here, like, all these rules remain same. So everything will be measured according to this initial model, initial proportion. So let's say I can draw so here will be like one gene here. So I can make like motorcycle like which with like 2.5 genes. So here we have 1, 2.5, right? So, and the height of this motorcycle will be 1 gene. So we have ratio 1 and 2.5, right? So now I kind of make it a little volumetric. So here we have this kind of motorcycle, and okay, so having this ratio, it's make it work much easier. It's make it insanely easy. So because now I can like move around this ratio, and I will like very easy redraw, recreate my motorcycle in any place within picture. Yeah, so 1, 2.5. So let's say, dun, dun, dun. Let's make it here. So here I have height of 1 gene. Once I have height here on the same place, I can just like drop it down. So I will have length for horizontal. So here I have 1 height, 2.5 width. Right. So 1, 2.5. So it's like first step which not require you like to draw it super three-dimensional at the beginning. At the beginning, like as first initial step was calculating, measuring proportions. It's just transferring dots, like I say, right? So we have here like 2 dots here, then I transfer this 2 dots here, then I make like, okay, 1 dot, 1 dot, 1 dot. It's just moving dots around. It's super simple. It just require like little discipline to train your mind to treat it this way. You need, it's like install application in your mind so you will able to use it, and just kind of little tame kind of your mind to respect this, you know, so you can actually enjoy it. It's not mundane at all. It's very easy and it can be fun. Just kind of embrace it, say it's like new technique. I really can enjoy it, and it's make my work much more precise, which give you ability is make your ground more solid, more firm, so you can go higher and you can go to much better quality work in the future. That's this kind of essential knowledge, very beneficial. So you see, kind of like this, I can move it around everywhere. I can even like drop it on the ground. So let's say here I have this gene, one gene height here. So then I kind of drop it here, on the ground. And then I have 1, 2, and let's go outside the frame. Let's 2.5 here outside. So now I draw is like leaning on the ground, you know, it's like fell. So very basic essential principle, and you see like it can be like later I will show like how much it's useful, how much it's important, and then I just want to go to, yeah, let's mention it right now. Another secret, super secret, hidden secret. So what here you can notice already what I did here. So we have this vertical measurement and I kind of drop it to front, right? So now it's leaning here on the ground. But how I calculated it, how I calculated how it looks in perspective, because actually it should look little different. It's not this two-dimensional transfer like I do here, when I just like drawing like same length whole way. So once I have like this axis established, I can just drop it as the same length. But here is not same length. So, and this is very interesting, very important nuance, because it's a 3D space. It's actually very convenient to look at this measurement in a 3D space as a side of a cube. You see? So let's say here I have this one gene, and now instead of just having one line, I kind of have this, let's draw here, like one gene cube. So if you do this practice, which I recommend you, and you must do from my first video, like perspective for beginners, for essentials. I was talking there about Kranz cubes and how it's important for you to practice drawing these cubes, because it's just you kind of develop this feeling of proper cube in perspective, and for you as artist is more important than like using some perspective tools, like, you know, this like protractors and scales and all this stuff. We don't use them, right? You will not using scales for drawing kind of your backgrounds in the comic book. It's just kind of too boring, too schematic. So a solution for being precise, for being technical, but also creative, it's a practice drawing cubes. So you can very easily develop this sense of a cube in perspective. And more than that, it's not just like cube in perspective. You even can see what type of angle, like how this cube is rotated according to viewer to or camera, you know. So it's a very important, very helpful skill. So, and once you able to do this, so you can say like here I just drop, let's like place here not very good, but let's say, so knowing one side here, now I just build cube according to this my measurement. So now I have this kind of like a zixel in perspective, right? So this is my one gene cube here. I kind of make it a little wrong, but anyway, like delivering point, right? So, and then it means, so every picture now you draw, you can build whole space, every object with this zixel, like a 3D pixel, 3D model in your picture. So let's say I establish fisheye perspective here. So let's do it here. Web point. Yeah. Hello, Alex. Hello, Last from Mars. Yeah, later we'll answer questions from comments. So let's say here, I just establish what is size of my model inside my picture. It's just my like voluntary decision, right? So if I say like, okay, this is size in this place or this model cube, right? So it's my like one cube. So, and now I can just, it's like there's technique, kind of you can do it, you know, like just transfer like that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it goes here. So it's kind of here will be -1 because go back from in my system here. Same go to right side. So it's like second box to right, third box to right. And then again, I can just totally kind of like make a calculatable whole space. So it might be look like overkill, but in reality it's not. So first of all, you can draw something like this. Consider as like next stage perspective grid practice, right? So now you have not only perspective grid, but you also have certain measure, like a property of your space, property of your reality. So in here now, I can have objects will be like size of 1 ratio or half of it or 2 in half and stuff like that. So let's say I can make here like ditch, which will be like half, kind of quarter of initial cube. So here, or I can make object like a cube which will be like size of a quarter of initial cube. So everything now not only have its place, not only connected to my grid and relevant, like have kind of, you see this, we can track every point to see like what is distance between each of a point according each other. So like this point go here, go here, go here, go here, it's invisible here, then go up, then again go here, and all of them have same like 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, so 0, 5 go here, 0, 5 go down, 0, 5 go right, up, down, right, up, right. Can go here 0, 5, go here 0, 5, here 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. So imagine like you developing your space or your characters, and in some scenes, in some camera angles, it can be crucial. It can be crucial. So, for example, let's say you draw, you want to draw street, or you want to draw house interior. So what will be the size of your interior? Like, is this like, or like, let's say like general form, general shape of your interior, this room, it's like a perfect cube, or it's like more like a box, not like, you don't know exactly a ratio for this box, just kind of long box, kind of, let's say, right? So, okay, now you should, it's better for you if you clarify that this box is not just long box, but this box have ratio like 1 and 1.5, for example, right? So I have like, let's say, 1, it's a cube, and then I make half of this cube. So now we have room, now we have interior, which ratio is 1, 1 and 1.5, right? So it's like 1 high and 1.5 width. So then, okay, now I also have this inside this space, right? And this is like a fractal. It's very easy to subdivide cube. So now look, I have on the ground, I have basically like 6 squares, right? So these 6 squares, if I look like subdivide inside the interior, like this interior is like, how many cubes have inside this interior? Like 4 to 6, 24. Yeah, like 24 cubes here inside. I can subdivide it further, so it will be like, just like in progression. I have always forget progressions. I think like 24 and 2. Jesus Christ, forget. Anyway, so you got my point. In a way, I will not like sit and calculate how many cubes in a space. It just give you logic here, right? So you can keep subdividing it, and it always will be cube, 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 cube. If you want, you can add like some extra space. Let's say it will be like this. Add 2 more cubes to this room, so it's some kind of like a secret room behind bookshelf, for example, right? Or like your like in the cyberpunk have this weaponry, like place where you keep your guns, kind of. So, and then let's say, so here we have like sofa. So this sofa I can break down 3, so it's two-thirds and one and a half of these inner cubes, and then like 2/3 high. So this is my sofa here. In this room, right? So I know exactly. So I know exactly where is it, like how far it from a wall. I know exactly how high it is. I know exactly what is own size, kind of here, you see. So then let's say like window. Yeah, let's say window. So window will be like 1/3 from top of 1/3 from a ceiling, and let's say like 2/3 like a sofa, same sofa height. So it's 2/3 from ground. So here we have like window, then we have door. No, here we have like a bookshelf. Let's say like secret bookshelf. So this secret bookshelf is 1 and so height for this will be like 1 and 2/3. So like in a school, I just recently remember this stuff from school. So we have here 1, and I kind of like subdivide it. So this 2/3. So here it's the height of a sofa. It's like width here is like, I think maybe like 0.25. So again, I write in these numbers just because I need to show it, I need to explain. When I will draw it, I just will draw it, I will see it visually as a cubes. That's why it's so convenient, it's so practical. You don't need remember this like halves, halves, halves. I mean, it's not so hard to remember, it's very easy. So then I say it's kind of width of this. Because you see, is like you can draw this room now from any angle. So now from top angle it looks like square, half square, and then quarter of a square for this secret room. You can now rotate this room any way you want it, right? Because it's very easy to rotate cube. You can distort it any way you want to distort it. Try to rotate random form. It will blow your mind. It's kind of, you will always draw it like inaccurate, and it will be like too kind of stressful, and it will be hard. So here and now I can like draw this room in any perspective. Again, let's say, so this is my which angle? Let's say this horizon line. So this will be a y vanishing point. So this like just a random perspective. So, and kind of like I'm inside this room. So what I draw, what I see, let's draw with green first. I know, it's black. So I'm inside this room, right? So I see this corner, twin. So this corner. So then this, it go here. So now I know this side, it's 1.5 or three cubes. I can see it as 3 cubes. I can see it as 1.5 from big part, kind of big size. So if I look at this like a small cubes, so it's like 2 small cubes H and 3 small cubes, you see? So ratio 2 and 3. So, and I just draw in this like 2 and 3 ratio in perspective. So yeah, kind of like eyeballing. But you see, it's kind of how much easier task it is when you have simplified geometry in the mind. So now I have this 2 and 3 here. Then I say, okay, now I have like 2 of same ratio. So let's say going to the right. So this will be width of this wall. And here I add bookshelf. Here will be like corner of a ceiling. Here we have like 2 of height, and the bookshelf is 1 2/3. So it's like I subdivided in 3. So this is height of a bookshelf, about here. So it's kind of like magic power of ratio. Так, so here, let's go like this. Let's go like that. So then we can draw sofa. So again, you see like ground here, floor. It's 6 squares. Remember still, right? Sofa ratio is 1.5. So here we have this 3. So 1.5. I eyeball in it, right? So this is a trick. In the one hand, it's kind of like you need to be precise, but also you need to know how to operate with this preciseness. Because like I don't want to make it kind of like engineering draft, right? So when I see I can eyeball and make it close enough, so I will just eyeball it. And with this, what Kim Jong-gi is always do in his works. So he like simplify kind of in his mind when he don't draw this structure. He always have this kind of structure in his head, and uh, kind of in his mind he simplify to very simple geometry, so he can manipulate it very easily, and it's very easy to eyeball simple geometry like a cube or half cube. So here we have this sofa. So it's like here is like 2 from 3 2/3, and then I just drop it in perspective. Then what is height? It's also 2. So if I have this like middle line, right, of the wall, so sofa height, like 2 parts of it, it's about here. So here we have the sofa, then we have window about here. So you see, this what I want, this, for a second. Yeah, forget, here we still have a wall. Yes, this happens when you draw and talk. So window kind of here. Then I also can subdivide bookshelf. You can very easy manipulate this space. You can very easy like add more and more elements here. And I'm using like an erasable pen right now. If you use like erasable, so it's just you can like little adjust and like draw. Let's say, okay, here is like you add this like television here, right? So and I say, okay, so somewhere about here. Again, I see like a little break proportions because being talking and drawing, but even when you make mistakes, it's kind of like you intend to make it right, you know what make it right, but you make some mistakes. In most of cases, these mistakes will be kind of like ignored by viewer perception, so don't need to panic. And it's like very important also skill knowledge you get only from practice. It's to be okay with this kind of minor mistakes, because like here, even like often, yeah, most of cases, even if you not mention, if you don't point, so like, oh, here I make mistake, nobody will notice.
Madness. This is Gene Bond art.
Welcome back to Gene Bond channel. So now you see this principle. It's exactly what is happening when you work on a ratio, when you want to transfer ratios in perspective. Like in my video about drawing like different proportions, for which I have this kind of a reference, height reference kind of, right? So same principle. And now I want to show you how it works in the different camera angles. Example on Akira and maybe Ghost in the Shell. So, where's the pen? So let's say we have this down shot. It's like over the head type of shot. So, and you see we have perspective grid. Yeah, maybe let's do y-axis. It's kind of here we have this nadir y vanishing point. I'm being like really little loose. So this building not following y vanishing point, it's a slanted surface. It's not perfectly vertical. But this one and this one and this one is this kind of. So we have this y-axis, we have z-axis, and we have x-axis, right? And then look, which color choose. So we can look for example, like height of this building, right? So we have like kind of like idea. Here is like kind of very extreme example because people here, they're like a dots. They're super tiny, like dots. So we can see it's just still this comparison work. It's just like this height of a building. How big difference between it building height and human height, because they're even like so small we kind of even cannot see them. They look like a flat dots. So we can see like how buildings different in the height according to each other. And if you draw kind of this scene, you can just like transfer relative height of buildings. So let's say you have this building here. Now you kind of transferred like along x axis, your bottom and the top transfer here. So now you have this kind of same building height here on the right. So this like from this first principle I was talking about, moving proportions is just like transferring points in the perspective along with the axis in the perspective. So and then I can do like I transfer it here, for example, but I make it 2 times higher. So let's say here's this more. So it's kind of here, it's the same kind of building, but I just make it like 2 times higher, like this. Let's see. Okay, so this is how it works in this kind of camera angle. It's just kind of demonstration for you, right? And or you can subdivide it, transfer here, and I say like, okay, if I want these buildings to be exactly like half of this building, so it will be kind of this in a second. Okay, so it's overhead type, or here street. Yeah, it's more like convenient example. So let's see. Here we have this vertical y axis. Then we have, so it's like little curvilinear here, little fisheye. This will be our x axis and z axis. So we have like, for a ratio, I can take, for example, like height over one floor. So here, this will be one of my measure, for example. So here will be like half of it, and I can transfer it around this full height, move around here. I can draw like a guy here, so if like compared to this floor height, so let's say guy like this size, right? So I can now transfer also him around, knowing this ratio of him compared to this. So let's say here have dude, here have dude. Maybe here, so just points, lines, and this kind of like rectangles. And then you just like can draw them. It's too dark. Let's choose orange color. Some clown gangs. So like, why you are in our street? So often artists, they have their inner ratio, or if sometimes maybe if they just like feel very confident with a particular situation, particular scene, they can just kind of skip any measurement because they've been drawing it a lot, and not always as clear. So you can try to kind of break down to find ratios, to understand what kind of ratio being used. But for you, when you make your own picture, it's definitely always much more convenient. It's really useful. It's how to make like very solid scene, but a very easy approach. It's very simple, very easy approach. So then let's say, so this was overhead. Then we have like a bird view, like this scene, for example. So for this kind of scene, it's convenient to use like people size as a model. So you see we have this height for a human. So perspective grid here, it's just kind of isometry. So we have like vertical lines, they're just vertical, and then x axis go like this, and z axis go like this kind of perspective grid for this picture here. And so because it's isometry, right? So lines, like vertical lines, are not converge. So it means this ratio will not change if I draw it like underground, for example, right? It's always will be same because it's kind of long lens isometry here. So when we have this kind of isometry scene, it makes it incredibly easy to transfer proportions, because all I need to do is just draw same like A. You see, it's like always same ratio. So average height for every people here will be always same ratio. So this kind of for this scene is kind of one, like a model, like one human, let's say. So then we can say like, okay, now you just drop same height, just eyeballing it approximately, because here you have this kind of freedom to be less to be kind of loose, because people can be like little taller, little shorter, so this will be still look very natural. So you can draw like this, or you can draw them like some kind of basic shape, like you see how they look, right? Like they look just like, first of all, is this basic shape. So, and now knowing this height, we can say, oh, this tank is kind of like 2 people height. So this tank we can break down to exact ratio. So you kind of can perfectly estimate. So it looks like width. It's like 3 human height width. Let's say how much. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 5 human height long, and 2 human height height of a tank. So you can like have exact clear proportions. So you can recreate how this scene or this tank from different angle. So and yeah, let's show here, for example. So you can just drop these people anywhere. It will be same height for any people. Put them on a roof, draw this crowd. That's why it's so easy to draw crowded scene like this, because it will be like same ratio, and just draw details for them. So it's like dude on a tank, dudes on the roof. You see? So let's draw same scene, but from different camera angle. And this kind of what you can do when you can break everything, when you can kind of see these proportions. So in this scene, we have tank with a ratio like 3 human height width, 5 human height length, and 2 human height for him. Let's see this vehicle. So we can draw like couple vehicles and tank. Let's say this. So this kind of is like 1.5. This minibus is like 1.5 human, about 1 human width, and how many human length. So let's say 1, 2, like 3.5 long. So minibus will be 1.5 height, how much I say, 3.5 long, and just 1 human width. So I can do it here. So kind of animating Akira. Так. So let's say I wanted to be like okay, like Pishaya. Yeah, let's do like this. So it will be looking up. So the y vanishing point. Z vanishing point. And there is x. So here, as we remember, is like model here is the human height, right? So now let's say I want to compose tank, right? So let's first, for convenience, just make it as a box. So I say, so this box is 2 human high. So we have 2 up and 5 inside, right? So 5, it will be like this one, it's a cube, and then I draw just 5 cubes going to perspective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we have our right angle for tank, ratio 1 to 5, 3 widths, so 1, 2, 3. Then here I want to draw like mini bus. So mini bus was like I forget, 1.5 height and 3.5 long, right? So let's say I transfer this cube to here. Okay, kind of this. So 1.5 high. Then we have already 3 on the left, so I can also transfer it. So here we have this and about 1 width. So this is box for mini bus here. And yeah, so now I can just draw people somewhere. So let's say here we have guy. Let's say, so this 1.5, and here 1. So we have like guy standing on a minibus, maybe 3 of them. So just look fancier. Then we have one guy far here. Just draw some. This is simple like that. You see, very easy. And now what you do is just let's see. Can draw like mini bus. Maybe there's like some dude sit in the minibus. Then here tank. So here for demonstration I kind of being very loose with the construction. Just kind of it look like tank. That's good enough. So let's say but with this ratio you can draw like a very accurate, like Scott Robertson, very precise detailed structure for tank, for vehicles, for everything. So here we have some dude. And there's some other people. And then some also can drop some other vehicles. Can draw some buildings here. Some crazy dude on a roof. Some dynamic lines. So you see this ratio, they just allow you to manipulate with the objects and space to very fast, and it's kind of very easy, just calculate like convincing proportions in any angle. So now let's say what else angle it can be. Let's make 1 point perspective, for example. Or like 1 point fisheye. Yeah, maybe I will start with yellow. Let's do like this. So let's make again this tank. So what is the ratio? 3 and 2. So imagine it's like I'm looking as the cubes. So here I have like 2 cube high, 6 cube in total kind of go here, right? So then maybe I forget it's 7 length for it. So it will be like 7 cubes deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of go with perspective here, so strong. Kind of this. So, and then let's draw second tank here. So I can transfer kind of like this. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3. Wait. So have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kind of 7 here. So treat these ratios like they should help you. Don't be like also stuck too much into making perfect geometry. It should help you with placing proper ratios in the space, but also don't be like too much stuck with it. So it's a tanks, and let's make a bus. So bus, it's like 1.5. So let's transfer here 1/2. Okay. Be kind of this. Maybe I can even like move one bus be closer to screen. So here I have this bus height on a tank box. So I will, so this kind of height I transfer here. So now it's kind of like rear side of this bus. So for myself, I know it's 1.5 height here, this point. Then I drop it kind of to vanishing point. So now it's a rear side of a bus, which is like 1.5 height from a ground. So, and now then we have human, right? Human is a 1 ratio. So here's this 1/2. Keep transferring. So will be like here we have guy will be like this. Let's choose other color. Orange. So it's our human here standing on the roof of a bus. And then we have, let's say, here, dude, maybe make like 3 of them. Just look more impressive. Here near bus, we have 1 dude. Here, have 1 dude. Like 2 dudes on a tank. Maybe here, but 1 dude on a tank. So it's just like chaotic scene like we have on this reference from Akira. And then again, it's just like, so you establish all ratios, which take like very little time. It's very simple when it's just basic geometry. And now you can just so kind of dun, 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 dun. So here kind of then this minibus, second tank here, second minibus. And then again some buildings. Some other vehicles. Also, like sequence of drawing picture. What I often do is like once you figure out the 3D objects on the front and middle plan, then it's very easy to just kind of eyeballing all these objects on the background. You just like just fill empty space there. Some people here, and again some kind of dynamic lines. Maybe there's some guy doing something. Stuff like that. So see, kind of it's crazy how easy it became, how convenient this approach. So, and basically it's just everywhere what you do. So you want have ability to properly manage proportions, like sizes, ratios in your picture. You use this principle of model. You need to define, establish certain model, and you just look from any kind of picture, any case. It can be like different model, like, so let's say this one, for example. So here we have his height, but we don't see him completely, right? So it's like he is probably like this height. But we can see it's like half of him. So also maybe can see like where is certain like elements. Okay, I find this one look like a cube. This kind of element of interior. And then now, okay, now I can like recreate this scene in any angle again, because I start to have idea of its ratio. So we have like about 3 cubes, and here about like half cube goes there. Then same here, we have like about half cube. So it became model for this interior. Then height here, it's like one, looks like 1.5. So total height for this interior, it will be like 2.5 cubes. So now I can say, okay, this like place, I start from here. So we have like 3.5. 1, let's say 3.5, kind of this. So I just very easily recreate it from different angle. So 1, 2, 3. And then here it's like half, and we'll go 1, 2, and then here it's this wall. Then we have like again half cube. So guy, he's standing about here. So then there is some this thing in the wall with a dancing energy. It's simple, you see. So camera kind of looking this direction, like 45-degree looking down. I call this angle camera security camera angle, because it's really look like this camera mountain in the corner of a wall on this kind of ceiling, and it's like 45 angle, camera looking down, 45 angle. So it's kind of mind-blowing how easy it became if you just embrace this approach. It's this a case of like secret you've been searching for. You find it. Here it is. This is one of this very beneficial, very simple, but like every magic, eventually it's going to very down-to-earth thing. You just need to practice it. You just need to go through this first 100 attempts when you draw it and it feels like you're doing absolutely ridiculous crap. But everybody has this stage. So you just go through it, and it became kind of absolutely amazing, convenient. It's just like you don't need any 3D programs, you don't need all these shortcuts, tricks, whatever. It's much easier to do it freehand, much easier. So now you see, right, like anything, everywhere, it's like that. Just use your imagination. Just try, like, what kind of model is here, what you will use as example for a box. You can like use like a table. So say table, and when you say, oh, it's kind of okay, I kind of can do it as a start from this table. Let's kind of simplify it. I don't need to be like absolutely correct to it. I just narrow it down. I will say, it's more convenient for me, I will say it's like 3 cubes here, right? So this table is 3 cube. Then we have cube here, 1, 2.5, or 3 here. Okay, perfect. So we have 3 cubes. But I still say like, oh, I don't want to use small cube for all picture. No problem. You can create like it's because it's like a fractal. So you can treat it like one of this cube as a quarter of a bigger cube. So we have like a bigger cube, which is like 4 this table cubes inside. But here is actually this table cubes is convenient enough. You just don't need to draw cube every time. You just say like, okay, this guy, yeah, he kind of like look like a 2 cube, like his overall shape look like 2 cube size. So again, immediately, right away, what happened is I can rebuild this scene from any angle. Cause it's just a bunch of freaking cubes. So we have Canada here is like cube, kind of and half cube. So all I need is just to draw these cubes from different angle, and then just kind of little adjust with my actual line drawing. So it's like this adjustment, like I can, oh yeah, Canada, he actually will have like this kind of angle for this half of a cube, right? It's kind of is so minor. It's like next step when you go from general to refinement and to some kind of fine tuning. I'm calling it fine tuning, just like minor adjustments. But first, it's just like once you break it down, once you're able to see it as a simple geometry, okay, now you're able to manipulate it any way you want. So now we have, let's say, like this group of guys, right? So what kind of geometry is it? It's like block 3 widths and how many cube high? Let's say like 2.5 high. So this kind of like group of these characters we can put in this block 3, 1.5 width and 1.5 high. You see? So now you just draw different angle. Так. And it's like solve all this mathematical dread you have when you think about like, oh, how can I measure all these proportions in perspective in a different angle? Like, oh, solved. Let's see. Solved. So let's see again. So I can make this like insanely quick demonstrations because this approach is so say like this. It's so convenient and easy kind of idea of it. Так. So let's say is like some kind of like point of view of this guy. So I draw like how he looking at this group of teenagers. Так, so here's like his eye level, a vanishing point. I can make whole like I can make like a course like perspective university like of Akira perspective. So it's kind of guy point of view. Так, so we look his eye level. He look kind of like you see like before I was talking. So this okay, so this one box we use as a high. So almost like 2 box high eye level for him. Yeah, let's do like 2 box high eye level. So what it means? It means that this eye level, camera level, it's have ratio 2. So any point I drop and I make line from horizon line will have ratio of 2. I was explaining it in a tutorial about how to draw ratio and perspective. If you not get it, it's because you don't do homework I tell you to do. So again, it's like once you establish, it's 2 models camera height, right? So it means every line which goes from eye level to ground will have this ratio of 2 cubes. So now you know when is this, right? We look like, okay, what he can see from his point of view. And I approach again, not like science here, like I'm not like sit with a ruler or something. Let's approach it creatively, right? Let's use our imagination and have fun. Like what he can see right now, let's just imagine. Like he sit behind a table, like maybe like he can see like this journal and his hand here. So then he see table. Okay, so this table already tell us the edge of a table. So between edge of a table and his eye level, it's 1 measure. I hope you with me. So now I can drop it to vanishing point. And now I can find, okay, this one in perspective, right? 1 model. Now I double it. Okay, and this he look at Canada. So this is Canada. Here I move it, him put in the middle, in the center here. This is 2 box for Canada. So he's sitting here. He actually, Canada, he's a little lower, so he's like little lower than 2 boxes, kind of about here. He little below eye level or this guy. Then we was I break it down. I say it's like one cube between Canada and his gang. So like about one cube here. So Canada gang, it's like 3 guys for 3 cube widths. So it will be like 3 widths and 2.5. I think 2.5 height, right? So or 3. Let's make 2.5. Okay, 2.5. So here kind of this gang. Then from Canada to left, how many cubes? It's like 1.5. Okay, so 1.5. Okay, let's put here will be this side of a table. And again, actually, because again, I say I can make it like a creative element, so I can just drop this table here, or I can make, oh, actually look perfect. Yeah, so this is table here. So, and we have this guy sit here. So it's already kind of enough for me to just sit and draw line art, because this already give me this like very important anchor points for ratios and proportions and placement, right? So here we have this guy, and then I can imagine like, because from next scene kind of we saw what kind of space it is, so we know it's like a booth, some like a cubicle or how it calls. So walls will be like this, and there is like some kind of luminescent lamps. So it's some, yeah, it's a like basketball field in inside the university or high school. Yeah, maybe it's even like their high school. Maybe, yeah. Anyway, some kind of like university gym. Same, and I can put these lamps in perspective. So you see, it's like you can draw your comic book or storyboard with this approach, and this how much this approach is really important, really helpful. Так, so here you have this folder, here this guy hands, maybe he have watch here. So here was like photographs of wanted criminals, and there are a lot of some other papers on his desk. Maybe here kind of stack of folders. Like here he smoke cigarette. Some pencils, some other paper. Okay, so it's kind of his desk, right? Then we see this desk here. Second guy. They're all like very tired, like sitting with paper, with these papers all night, checking rioters. Так. Here we have wall. So here, Canada, right? So his seat. And his chair. And how many? 5. So having this block for his gang, I can just, like I say, I even don't need to follow it exactly. You see, it's like how much it solved for me. Just make it convenient to draw them, so it will look kind of proper. So here we have one guy. This is all we need. We need to have like clear system, so you can make everything look properly established, properly arranged. So again, you see, like here, my words, what I say, not scientifically correct, not make it like example of like some kind of perfect engineering draft, but create illusion, like everything on the right place. This what your aim. So just don't aim to kind of pointless goals, you know. Don't make this like pointless tasks for yourself. Don't try to be like perfect in everything. It's like, yeah, I want to make create some interesting artistic scene, but it also should be like correct, like a draft of engineer. It's just why. Like, and first of all, nobody do this. You want to be first one? Like, first in the history, like some kind of Leonardo da Vinci, who is also never did anything like that. So just kind of have a realistic vision of what is it all about, right? And here, even like again, here is like camera, so we can make it like a so this camera have this view, and here director, movie director. It's like more emotions. I don't believe you. More emotions. And some dude with a microphone. You know. Так, how long already? 2 hours. Okay, yeah, so kind of this. I think we'll stop here. I hope it was useful for you. Write me in the comments. It should be useful. If it's too difficult, you go to my like beginners video.
This is Jane Bond Art.
Go to beginner video, like I have this video perspective for beginners. Also, if it's not clear enough, I have video for each specific aspect, as like how to draw ratio in perspective or how to draw proportions in perspective. I will also like put a link to this video in the comments so you can go directly. Yeah, so push like, share, subscribe, do your homework. See you later. Yeah, become a member of my channel. And thanks for all members. Yeehaw.